Good morning, welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for April 28th, 2018.
Today on the newscast, we talk about something we missed last week, Black Ops.
Nintendo gets a new president.
New Star Wars cartoon on the way.
The Terminator pre-sequel information.
And some awesome Splatfest news. Stay tuned.
Goodbye.
Do you take the pictures from the internet?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I still have to animate the vid, like the.
We're not animating it. We're just gonna do it.
Have a stick.
No, we're not animating it. I will do the puck, but I'll be hitting it with a soccer ball instead. Quick shots, and I'll be wearing a football helmet.
That actually makes sense for like us doing some kind of sports segment.
Quick shots.
Like have Tony.
With a tennis racket hitting a baseball.
Tony with the hockey stick hitting a soccer ball.
Wearing a football helmet.
It pans, wearing a football helmet, and then it pans to a basketball net with like
golf ball going through it.
Well, yeah, sure. And then it's just like, see, we could do that.
And all of us just shaking our heads.
Yeah.
Touchdown!
No, you need to.
You activated my trap card!
There you go. Well, there are all these guys where we talk about the latest in news for video games and movies.
Video games, movies,
and nerd stuff.
Etc.
We'll work on our segments.
Yeah, we work in progress.
Yes.
Let's get to the first bit of thing.
We missed this last week.
It was actually a pretty...
I totally forgot about it.
It was a pretty sizable leak. Okay, so it's a leak about Black Ops 4 coming out this year, this calendar year.
Yes.
With their event.
This is a Call of Duty game.
The Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Excellent.
So, the early reports and leaks have basically said they are ditching the single-player version or single-player mode.
That's nice.
In this year's,
you are the special.
Thank you. Yes. So, it sounds like they're going to be dropping their single-player campaign in favor of what sounds like a battle royale style mode.
But my question is, why not both?
But why?
Because no one really pays attention to the single players.
I do. I'll play it.
I know, I do.
I will play it. They're single players.
I bet you we're a minority.
We are an incredible minority.
We are, and I get it. I get the whole real point to most of these first-person shooters.
You go straight to the multiplayer.
I don't go straight to the multiplayer because I like to actually
have a good sense of
figure out what I'm doing.
Well, especially with a game like Black Ops.
Well, okay,
where they have so many mechanics that
shoot. Reload, grenades.
Run on wall. You've got mech suits. Probably it's Black Ops.
That's tight.
No, and wasn't that Advanced Warfare?
Yeah, Advanced Warfare had mech suits.
Yeah, that was Advanced Warfare, not Black Ops.
Well, I mean, it's Call of Duty.
So
yeah, that's weird that they are thinking of dropping their single player campaign for at all.
Like I said, it's a minority.
I think if you polled like 10 people, 3 or 4 people would be like, yeah, like 3 or 4 people would be like, yeah, I'll play the single player first.
1 or 2.
I play the single player before I play multi. There are Call of Duty games that I've gotten from the library that I've strictly played the single player and returned it.
Nobody likes it when I play the multiplayer games, so I just play the single player.
That's why we play PUBG.
That's why I play with you guys. Because
maybe that's the thing. If there's a battle royale mode in Call of Duty, maybe we will excel at that.
But see, here's my thing. I also don't understand.
The
battle royale piece to a Call of Duty.
Because battle royale needs to be in everything.
I get it.
It's the hot new thing.
I just and I think we kind of touched on this, but it was in a Call of Duty game. I would rather see the 50v50. Like, I don't mind lots of people in the map.
And the thing is, when I play,
make it a war.
When I play a Call of Duty game, I don't think of myself hiding on a toilet and waiting 5 minutes.
No, I
know it's a rush.
It's basically an arcade style shooter.
You don't
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Not quite a Fortnite.
No.
You already have the weapons. You just got to go and run and shoot people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all.
And so how they transition that into
See, and even
Call
Battlefield,
of
I
Duty?
find myself, if I have a sniper, like if I'm a sniper, I will be much more slow and methodical and find my perch and like.
You don't do that in a Call of Duty.
I don't do that in Call of Duty. Call of Duty, I am very like. I make sure I get that sprint perk. I make sure like.
At the very most, you do that in a Battlefield game.
That's what I'm saying. So Battlefield, I'm
Makes
slow and methodical.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But I'm still not like a Battlefield game. I still wouldn't want Battle Royale. I would want.
Which they do.
50v50.
They do that.
And they do.
Which is
Close. They're close. I think they're 32-32.
32-32. Which I mean, for those maps is good. For all that is.
So it's not a far-fetched idea for them to the next Battlefield game for them to do a 50-on-50.
No,
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I mean, Battlefront 2.
Well, they have to at this point because that's one of Battlefield's biggest things is.
We've got players.
Right.
Players.
Our
Players.
maps have so many people in them and all
100
that stuff.
versus 100.
But maybe
Let's
that's
do
where
that.
Battlefield goes.
Do you guys remember MAG?
No.
Massive action game for the PS3?
No.
It was a 256 online player multi-game.
They went right to that limit, huh?
Yeah. It was wild. If you ever look it up, it's called MAG, and it was really, really misleading. It said it was a 256 player multiplayer match, but it was sectioned off into like 20 versus 20s.
Now, do I save money buying Black Ops 4 if there's no single player campaign? Because now you don't have to hire writers.
I found I always bought them every second year.
So
right.
Okay, so
but I also just
what I had read about the story about them dropping the single player was that they were actually developing it already.
Well, too bad. I don't care. Don't charge me for a story I'm not getting.
So that's the thing. Like, if you're a writer, if you're a developer, you're working on the single player. You come in the next morning. The company goes, you know what? You're going to the multiplayer team. Okay, what about my stuff? You're going to the multiplayer team.
But there's nothing to write on the multiplayer.
You're going to the multiplayer team.
Story and the multiplayer.
You're going to the multiplayer team.
Where the more you win, the more you progress your story. But if you die, you have to start over.
Brink tried that.
They're gonna have to make something worthwhile playing as a single player / multiplayer.
Yep.
Basically, and that could be an option.
It could be.
It
could be. I will wait and see.
And you're right. If this is like a multiplayer focused game now,
I either need a lot of multiplayer features that I haven't seen before, like every multiplayer feature they have ever thrown down.
Mm-hmm. That
they have
might
worked into this game
and include all the maps.
And include
almost all the maps basically. Yep.
Do not start charging me for 3 DLC maps for $5 a map. Like
pretty much.
Yeah.
If you're getting rid of the story to focus on multiplayer, I've bought and look at Splatoon.
Mm-hmm.
It is a multiplayer focused shooter. It has it does have a story.
It's
mode.
but its online component is vastly different than that of Call of Duty.
Correct.
So its matches are in and out.
So whoops.
So
God.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. So Call of Duty, they have their May community
talk show.
They have the community event coming up in May or something where they're going to reveal a little, obviously more, but details about this.
We're getting more info in the beginning of May or early May from Nintendo on their online features too. Woohoo! Look at May being so chock full of some fun.
Get out there before E3.
Let's be honest, it's pre E3 stuff right now,
well,
so a lot of it is speculation.
So, and then then we can hop into the next thing, I guess. So Nintendo kind of released a little tidbit of announcements and news. So their E3 last year, they focused on Breath of the Wild. That was their their E3 booth for Nintendo was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. It was only Breath of the Wild.
This year, Smash Bros. They have selected their game.
Surprise!
Yeah,
what a surprise!
That is what it's going to be.
You don't end a Nintendo Direct with Smash Brothers and not say anything about it.
Well, but so their booth this year is they are focusing on Smash Bros.
Which is, I think,
so they're doing the same, and everybody's like,
one game at a time.
Yep. So everybody's like, well, it worked for Breath of the Wild. Maybe Nintendo's on to something.
I think you already got enough hype behind.
You don't even.
That's what everybody said about.
You don't even need booth space.
That's
for
what everybody
Smash
said
Brothers.
about. That's what everybody said about like our
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
I think
like,
the problem with
Zelda, like what?
I think the problem with Breath of the Wild at that point was that they announced it.
Yes.
Delayed.
But that's what I mean. So they're
delayed,
pretty much turning.
So they needed that sequence in E3. Was it last year?
Yes.
They needed that year at E3 for Breath of the Wild exclusively because they needed to shut people up. It's like, so this game's coming out.
But their booth, I think it's just like, oh, let's just like shove off the big game. That way, that's all anybody's talking about.
That's all you're here for.
Nobody's looking at like a semi-junky demo of, you know, Pokemon that's still in rough shape, or Yoshi that's still not quite complete.
Because I'll be honest, Smash Brothers is that game. You need tons of people to play.
Right.
So
let's just get everybody on the show floor playing Smash Bros. And blow up Twitter with Smash Bros.
You can't have 3 stations of Smash Brothers.
Right. So instead of that, like last year,
Smash Brothers Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
But last year E3, like most of the stuff we got off even the show floor, people tweeting it was like Breath of the Wild awesome, Breath of the Wild this, Breath of the Wild that. But like
they had the exposure.
They centered themselves with one thing, so anybody, like if you went to Nintendo, you weren't sitting there going, "Oh, the Yoshi game was cute," and you know that trickles. It's like your social media exposure is all one thing, which means you're going to be right on top. Because when people talk about Nintendo, they're going to talk about Breath of the Wild, Zelda, this, like, you know. So that's kind of the shtick is I think they're going for. They're going, instead of people coming to our booth and going, well, this game was good, and this game was good, and this game was good, it's like, well, Smash Bros. Was
I do think, though,
Smash Bros.
I do think the big piece about that was them delaying that game.
Oh, for sure.
Nth times they need to just show it.
So either way, their main focus they've announced is going to be
Bros.
Smash Bros. Obviously, their stage show, which isn't a stage show, but their Nintendo Direct, their presentation is going to obviously contain other stuff.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the president of Nintendo is retiring in June.
Yep, and that's fine.
After 3 years, after taking over for Iwata after Iwata passed. So, like we had said earlier, he
is older.
He stepped up. He's like, all right, I will man this ship.
He was putting the duct tape on the holes.
Yeah.
Of the boat.
Yeah, he was like, all right, let's get this done. But now the guy that's going to succeed him is one of the he's on the board for not only Nintendo but also the Pokemon Company, and he's in his early 40s.
So he should be around for a while.
One, he'll be around for a while, and two, the reason he was hired was because he can connect better with the people playing
our generation,
the console.
I really like the guy at the Switch reveal with the snapping fingers. Is that him?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's not as fun then. Because that guy was just...
He's one of their lead developers, though. So it's not like Nintendo's going to fire people in this and that. Like the guy.
No, they shuffle people around.
But this guy sits there coming up and he goes...
So whoever the current president is, I think he's stepping back in not an administrator, like a advising role or something.
Some kind of chair position. So, big important role where he's still going to get paid.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to try their names.
Why not?
Nope. I saw them. I could not.
Oh, come on now. So
I know Hideo Kojima.
Tatsumi Kimishima will retire in June. He's the guy right now.
I know Shigeru Miyamoto.
And will be succeeded by Shintaro Furukawa.
But something that sounded like a food.
Sorry. At least Furukawa's last name is easy enough to say. F-U-R-U.
Is there a picture of this food?
Furukawa? No. So basically, this guy's big thing after Kimishima. Oh yeah,
continue.
You keep trying to say these names.
Well, hopefully
we'll see him in the direct.
New guy, old guy.
Okay, so old guy. When he took over, was pretty much ending the Wii U, bringing in the Switch, and then his big thing was pretty much finalizing all the details for those Nintendo theme parks with Universal.
I would love to see the Nintendo Direct open up with the older president passing off to the new.
That'd be pretty cool.
But as a physical, like, here is Iwata's work, and it is a what is that thing called?
The sensor?
Yeah, the Wii.
Sensor bar?
No. It's dumber.
There was a finger sensor.
Dumber than that.
Finger printer?
No, it was dumber than that.
It sensed your pulse.
Wii Fitness? No. Wii. Crap. We were just riffing on it earlier too.
I think they pass on a Mario hat and call it a day.
No. It has to be Vitality Sensor.
It
passes off a Vitality Sensor to the new president's like.
All right, so this guy's 46. He has a very bowl cut.
He kind of looks like Iwata, but a little chunkier.
Sure.
He looks like Iwata, but a little like.
Either way, so he is stepping up to take over.
Doesn't matter.
Take over Nintendo. So
I trust them.
I'm not worried about Nintendo because it's not like they just
one's ever
appoint
really
anybody.
The only time we were worried about Nintendo was the Wii U. Let's be honest.
And even then, I wasn't worried. They were still making good games.
They were making good games.
So it was in my mind. It was like as long as you can develop something strong for the next,
And hopefully there is online stuff is.
The other weird announcement out of Nintendo was that they're going to continue supporting the 3DS through 2019.
I'm okay with that.
And I'm like,
that would be a lot.
That doesn't surprise me.
Okie dokie. So
how long did the DS have for a life cycle?
Oh, I know. So
Infinite.
It's just
it arguably still has a life cycle.
Oh, sure. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, all right, you guys keep pushing. Because every time they make a 3DS announcement, I'm just like,
so the big piece about that is them wanting to patch the holes for homebrew, for pirates and that stuff. So that's probably more so that focus.
No, they say games coming out.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like
that's
and everything else, and I'm just like, that's.
Once they get the online stuff.
Well, I mean, you look at things like Detective Pikachu coming out. You've got that Shishido game that actually looks really cool.
Yeah. Oh no, there's cool games coming out. Just in my brain, I'm like, just go for the Switch, man. Just go for the Switch. Yeah. WarioWare for the Switch, I would rather have.
Yeah, WarioWare Gold.
Yeah.
WarioWare with 8 controllers. Because you don't need a lot of controls for a WarioWare game.
Here's my counterpart to WarioWare with 8 Switch controllers. WarioWare Labo.
Oh, no. God, no.
Yes!
No.
Yes!
Was it UPS announced their Labo container?
Oh, it's just cardboard.
It's just a cardboard box.
I feel like that's an April Fool's joke. That's too late.
You can go to UPS and like pick up a Nintendo Labo container.
Yeah.
It's just a box that says UPS. Like it's just one of their boxes that you can buy off of them. You get to build it yourself though.
Oh boy.
You gotta cut all the shapes yourself. You gotta get all the stencils online.
So
Nintendo stuff is happening.
But yeah, new president obviously is
interesting that they're choosing now to switch over just before
He also
E3.
speaks English.
Well, Iwata spoke English.
But fluently, as opposed to
Iwata was
Kimishima.
And Iwata was kind of like
old guy.
And
Furukawa's the new one. Look at me go.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Either way, so new guy speaks English.
Hopefully we'll see him in the Nintendo Direct.
And that's kind of everybody's like, it'd be nice if we could start seeing him.
Oh,
again,
I'm sure.
Like Iwata was so.
He had a presence.
He was to the fans. He was very like, hi, like let's do this.
Even though his English wasn't like great,
it was good enough.
Yeah,
you can understand.
Again, that's one of those. And
it had the Nintendo like style to it.
It very well, yeah.
So it was very much like Japanese. Like we are a Japanese company.
Yeah.
Please enjoy.
Yeah. But you know what? And again, I think that's part of. I feel like living in Canada. You just get so many accents.
You're used to it.
You're used to different accents. Because there's not many times where I'm sitting there going,
oh yeah, eh?
Repeat yourself, please. Like
some of the accents can be kind of challenging.
They can,
especially over the phone.
Phone is horrible.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, Iwata, like I never had issues with. There's people that I'll watch and
you know what, Iwata probably had time to practice and he probably had a coach or two.
Yeah. Oh well, if you're part of a $1 million company that can never actually run out of money, then yeah, you can
print money. That's the thing. It prints money.
You can hire
it's a 3DS with money coming out of the
That's
why the 3DS
is the printer.
That's why the
Game Boy printer.
Exactly. That's what they're gonna make. It's a Game Boy. It's a 3DS printer now.
3DS
3D printer.
Into the
3D printer.
3DS 3D printer.
Would you have to somehow control yourself? So if you have like shaky hands, it's no good. Yeah.
And then you don't even think about the 3D slider. If that's turned on, then you got an extra something to worry about.
So yeah, it'll be cool to see. Like I'm just blown away that Smash Bros is this far into development that they're showing it off at E3.
Masuda's still working on it. No, Masuda. Sakurai. Still.
Yeah.
He
went from working on all those DLC characters.
Yes.
Pretty much working onto this. Even after going like, this game drains me to the nth degree where I'm like, I've lost 800 pounds and I'm now a twig.
What is it with Japanese developers who are like, this is my last game. This is my last Metal Gear.
Because
five Metal Gears later.
Because then Nintendo does this. Well, we're making another Smash Bros game. And he goes, all right, I'll come back. And they go, no, you're good. We're letting you know. Like, we're making it. No, I'll come
dedicated.
Back. He is. He wants his game.
That's how Hideo what happened with Hideo, too.
Sure.
He was supposed to do, I think, 2 or 3, and whatever they were working on, he was like, they are not getting this.
Right.
I'm stepping in and fixing it.
But that's the problem, is they have this bond to that, which is good.
Uh-huh.
Like, they've helped create something. They want to make sure that creation is done properly. So they're just, like, as soon as Nintendo probably went, like, we're making another Smash Bros. Game, buddy. Like, thanks for all of your service. Da-da-da-da-da.
We'll take it from here.
We got it. And he's like, come in. And they're like, well, no. We were going to get this guy. And he, no, I'm in.
He's a scrub. He's a scrub. I got this.
No, I got this. Well, so we don't have the money to pay you. That's fine. I'll do it for free. Like, in my mind, I feel like he would get into that point where he's like, nope, I will not sleep for another 2 years.
At this point,
I'll finish this game on my own. I do not need anybody else.
At this point, is Sakurai like the video game equivalent of Steven Spielberg?
Probably. Yeah, sure.
Between him and like Hideo Kojima, like those two could go up to anyone and be like, "You, my game, let's do this."
Sure, probably.
Like Guillermo del Toro, Mads Mikkelsen,
some guy
Walking
posted.
Dead,
Some
Walking
guy posted. Oh,
Dead
yeah.
guy, Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Like
Some guy posted on the Smash Bros. Subreddit that their list of the 100 fighters they want in the new Smash Bros.
all.
And I'm like,
everyone.
wow, that's a big list.
Yep.
They pretty much wanted the entire Street Fighter cast now in the game.
I think if you're gonna do a Street Fighter cast, you add in like Bison.
Sure.
Bison would be your one character. You have your Ryo, you have Bison.
Yeah.
Done.
But yeah, it'll be cool to see what they do, especially if they're just running off the Wii U engine. Because all those characters are pretty much...
They haven't said what engine it's off of.
I know, but if you do that, all your characters are pretty much in. Then you can just make more characters. Like, that can just be... And then you open up the menu, and it's just like... Pictures are this big.
It's like... It's MVC 2 all over again.
Yeah. As long as it's balanced, it's not a bad
MVC
thing.
2 was not balanced.
No, it wasn't.
It's
Smash Bros. Seems to be fairly well...
It's fairly balanced
fairly
in the
well
sense
balanced.
that if you're a competitive player, every character is more or less okay, except for Sonic.
And Bayonetta.
Yeah, but
We don't let Bayonetta into
yeah, Bayonetta's kind of crazy.
We don't let Bayonetta into real competitions anymore, apparently. Either way.
So moving on. What do we got?
Star Wars Rebels
Yes.
is done.
Yes.
That creator of that show, though, has been given a new Star Wars cartoon show, Star Wars Resistance. It's an anime-styled show.
So
it
what
takes place before The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Yes.
Following the build-up of the Resistance. So you get BB-8, you get Poe.
That's probably about it.
We'll actually get to see Phasma.
Yes.
So
I loved that cut sequence from The Last Jedi with Phasma.
I haven't watched them all yet.
There's a pretty cool cut sequence with her in it.
But
That
either way,
changes her
Gwendolyn
character.
Christie's coming to voice Phasma.
Good.
Uh,
Well, I think after her character
what's his name is coming to voice Poe.
Oh.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Is coming to voice Poe Dameron. So
Sure.
we're kind of getting to see how Poe became Poe, which is kind of cool because we're just told like hot shot.
That's a good pilot.
It's yes.
Those are cameos.
They're
They're
more
just don't-
cameos than anything.
they're gonna have
So
other
it's like when
characters.
James Earl Jones appeared as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And so which network is this? XD?
This is going to be Disney Channel in the States, Disney XD up in everywhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they get the Disney Channel down in the States, and for whatever reason, they never...
I don't think this will be out for quite some time, though.
I forgot the dates on this
Because
one.
the thing, if you look at the
thing.
Probably.
if you look at the Disney timeline, when was that Big Hero 6 TV show supposed to be out?
Big Hero 6.
They just need to make another movie.
Well, the TV
Well,
show
they-
looked cool too. They had a preview for it. It looked promising. But that show was supposed to be out like last year.
It might be in the States, though. That's the thing.
Well,
A
Big
lot
Hero-
of their stuff comes... Yeah. A lot of their stuff releases on their Disney Channel. So... Released this fall.
That's soon.
So...
There you go.
But from the creator of Star Wars Rebels, who was one of the people who helped with Clone Wars, like, these people are pretty much just...
They have some lineage to
Once
them.
one show's done, they'll get another one.
Yeah, so this one is going in with a completely different style, though. It's an anime style show.
I think that will track better.
And if it's literally about, like, the Resistance fighters and the pilots and all that stuff, an anime would actually be really cool for that kind. Like, if you think Gundam and all of
Yeah.
those kind of, like, shows,
And
seeing X-Wings flying in, like, an anime style.
And to be honest, that style will probably fare better in this day and age.
Yeah.
You look at things where Pokemon went back to a little bit more of a traditional anime style
Yeah.
for Sun and Moon, and more of a kid style. obviously that.
You know what? I watched it though.
The Sun and Moon.
Not all of it. I watched like part of the first episode.
It's good.
It is gorgeous.
Right? Like I love the way
it flows.
Yes, it doesn't really make sense for the character to look younger, but it looks great.
You know what? But even in motion, he doesn't look.
It's really good.
He does not look as young as he does in still shots. Like still shots, he looks super young. When he's moving though, and the hair moves and this moves, and like it's not like the old one where it's you see Ash moving and it's just his body.
The animation has gone so far. Today is this is sub news for Pokemon. Today is the 1000th episode.
There you go.
Of Pokemon. Today is they aired the last, or not last, but the 1000th one. In retrospect, apparently Simpsons only has like 600 something episodes.
They do, but yeah. So that's the Simpsons. I was just gonna say the Simpsons is now one of the longest longest running primetime shows.
Animated.
Not even. So they've now beaten out Gunsmoke. For longest amount of time on the air, sort of thing, and someone's like, "That's insane! It's like that's got to be the longest show on television, like given how many hours it's on." And someone's like, "Guys, Days of Our Lives is on episode like 15,687. Like it's a daily show, or not daily, but Monday to Friday show, Monday to Friday."
But the problem is it hasn't been canceled. It hasn't changed.
But it still goes.
Yeah, and still on to this day.
Right, so it's five times a week, 5 hours a week. Every week, nonstop for the last how many years? And I'm going 15,000 episodes, and then you watch one of those shows, and it's like, oh, yeah.
It doesn't take like that to film it.
Well, yeah, it takes 2 seconds to film because someone's going to betray someone, someone's going to shoot someone,
someone's going to come
have
back alive,
someone's
going to come alive, someone's going to crash, someone's going to crash a wedding, someone's going to.
Well, I didn't know those two were getting married. You missed like the episode
last
from,
season.
Like, come on, from like 6 months ago where they said they were going to get married, and I'm like, yes. When I was homesick a lot as a kid. Like that's the junk. Price is Right.
Oh my God, yes.
Red, green.
Yes.
And once those are over, you're at the will of the gods on what's on TV.
Video game.
Flip.
Well, except when I was sick, I wasn't allowed. If I had the energy to play video games, I could go to school.
But yeah, Pokemon airing its 1000th episode today.
That's pretty cool.
My buddy who works at the Pokemon company sent out pictures of what they were doing to celebrate it. They had 1,000 cake pops.
That's not surprising.
Someone posted like, "Is it actually 1,000? I need you to fact check this." Checked with HR. Actually 1,000. They ordered 1,000.
There's the receipt. Yeah.
They ordered 1,000. I'm like, that's an amazing thing for that company to do. So yeah, Star Wars.
The cool thing about Resistance 2 is that you don't have to have followed any of the other Star Wars cartoons. So this is legit just.
If anything, you just watch The Force Awakens.
You can now just you don't even have to do that because this is before that anyway.
Well, no, but like to get to know a little bit more, like
sure, if you want to.
in the how we would watch it. Yeah, I guess is a better thing.
But yeah, so BB-8's BB-8's supposed to be focused.
Baby BB-8.
Baby BB-8 is gonna be in it. Oh, so cute.
BB-8. Okay, moving on. So I think we talked about this ever so briefly. Terminator 6 is actually happening.
Movie, yep.
They have a title down for it as well as a brief plot synopsis.
Excellent.
It is called Terminator.
So Halloween.
Terminator.
Halloween.
See, this is
takes place takes place after Terminator 2.
So after Halloween. The sequel to Halloween.
Terminator.
Halloween. The sequel to Terminator 2.
Terminator. What about Terminator 3? Terminator.
They're just gonna.
Now, here's my thing with Terminator is you can mess with the timelines all you want. That's cool.
At this point, they have royally screwed it up.
Oh, I don't know anymore.
Well, Sarah Connor did it as the show. Everybody applauded Sarah Connor, the show, for doing that.
The show changed a lot, but then they changed it right back after the end of it, I think.
I'm not sure, but then even the movies have done the let's time jump it. At this point, the people from the future are at a race to see who can time jump to the exact right minute.
And canceled everything.
Like, literally, I think if they do a 7th movie, it should just be like a prequel. And it's just the future has sent back 100 Arnold Schwarzeneggers, and they all just
they all land on an island. They land on an island.
There's a new game.
Terminator.
Sending in Terminators back in time, and then the circle's closing in on them.
Yeah. We're good.
No, 99 Terminators and 1 John Connor.
Nope, just 100 Terminators. And they all drop. They don't even drop in. They all just they all just naked. You know,
yeah,
like
the sphere.
That's how it starts.
The sphere's there, and they all just stand up, and they're like, "You," and then they all just
it's
start
just awkward punching.
I've been sent here to destroy you.
That's because that's what keeps happening in all these movies, and that's unfortunately what's going to happen in probably, I'm assuming, this one.
Someone's going to have to make some sort of YouTube video to describe what the chronology of these movies.
No, there's no chance anymore.
Because after Genesis,
I didn't actually watch Genesis.
Okay, so Genesis again is the
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 2.
2. The good one.
1 and 2 got summed up in about 5 minutes.
Right, so the first Arnold Schwarzenegger that shows up naked and beats up those bikers or whatever it is gets beaten up by...
It's stopped and is
Wait, seriously?
Yes, he gets beaten up by the other Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And then 5 minutes later...
What am I missing?
5 minutes later, the next one comes
Isn't it like a beautiful train wreck?
It's a train wreck that one should see, actually.
It
wasn't a bad movie. No. It was just like you're sitting there going...
So
Timeline's been nothing in that series.
In T2, he comes into the bikers...
No, that's Terminator.
That's Terminator. So the bad Terminator, when he was bad.
Yes.
He shows up, and you're like...
Oh, okay, so it goes to Terminator 1.
It goes all the way back to Terminator 1, and you're like, oh, man, it's,
It's that sequence.
It's that sequence, and they've redone Arnold.
Of course.
Like, they've tried to de-age him a la Marvel, but they didn't
do as good a job. They don't have Disney money.
They don't have Disney money, and he gets beaten up by the new one, doesn't he? Or
no,
does he get
the old
shot?
one gets beat up by the new one, but Sarah's behind.
Right.
And ends up
killing the new one?
The young one.
Either way, there's a lot of Arnold Schwarzeneggers.
And then 5 minutes later, the villain from the second one shows up.
Yeah.
So
and they finish that
T1000.
off.
Okay, so the T1000 comes in.
Yes.
From the Terminator 2 into Terminator 1?
No, into Genesis.
Okay.
Because the first one got eliminated.
Yeah, the first timeline's dead in the first 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. It eliminated a lot, and then it time jumped again after.
And wasn't there like a sequence where like John Connor ends up being the bad guy or something?
You're ruining the whole movie for yourself right now.
That would be
someone I don't know, man.
That's the plot twist. Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't care enough anyway.
But which John Connor?
The 100 John Connors fall onto an island.
As they see like a bunch of those domes happen, naked guys standing up, they're flying.
No, it's actually 100 versus 100.
Before you watch this, you need to watch Die Hard. So.
Yeah, get on that.
I set my PlayStation in.
Oh, that's right.
Be glad it wasn't in there.
That's true.
What was I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and I keep catching those tiny little things, and one of them was I just watched the Skyfire one again, where Terry's talking about those. Oh,
the
books,
Game
of Thrones that are like the precursor to Game of Thrones books, and he's like. And Jake's just like, how are you so obsessed with these books? And he's like, you went to Canada to buy a VHS copy of Die Hard. And he's like, they said the Canadian version had clearer audio.
So specific.
So you need to get the VHS copy from Canada of Die Hard if you want.
Oh, specific.
Like, yeah.
It's very specific.
Yeah, if you want the version of Die Hard, apparently. According to Jake from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
So yes, Terminator 2. I think the silver lining is that Linda
Terminator.
Are they going to call it the Terminator?
I must bet you it's going to be the Terminator.
That seems like the right.
So Terminator, the Terminator.
Amazing Terminator.
Terminator 2, the Terminator.
Exactly what we talked about with Halloween last week.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it is. This is exactly the same flipping story.
Spectacular Terminator.
2. 2 was fine.
2 was the best one.
Same with Halloween. 2 was fine.
So the next one,
you don't need to interrupt it.
So the next Terminator movie will be titled
3.
The Amazing Terminator.
The Spectacular Terminator.
And then
the Friendly
Terminator.
Neighborhood.
And then the good one that comes back.
Terminator.
And then Disney will pick up the rights and it'll call it Terminator Homecoming.
I'm wondering what they're going to name the next Spider-Man flick.
Homecoming 2.
If they do that, I'm going to kill someone.
That's such a dumb.
No.
If they do the smart thing, they switch to like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man or go something along. Except he's supposed to be globe-trotting, so.
Well, it depends on what happens with
the
this movie that we're about to watch.
No, he's supposed to. They've announced like synopsis for Spider-Man.
Yes.
He's supposed to travel around the world now.
The International Spider-Man.
So Yeah.
Is the Spider-Man taken yet?
Nope.
They can do the Spider-Man.
That's never been well, neither is Homecoming. Ugh.
The spectacular.
If they call it Homecoming 2, Homecoming was perfect for
That makes
like,
sense
this
because
movie.
it was
if
that
he's traveling
sequence.
around the world and he's coming home,
If they call it Homecoming 2, I swear to God, someone's going to
it would make sense.
There will be so many angry emails written to Disney.
By him. By you. Okay, so
last bit.
moving on.
Here's some cool Splatoon news. 3.0 just came out.
Yes.
So if you have finished the single player campaign,
yes.
then there's a new person. So when in the single player campaign, you would go in and you would see.
This is getting ready for their
would
Octo
see-
expansion, isn't it?
Yes, because you'd see Mari,
Yeah.
or Mary, and Gramps, and they were kind of the single player people. Gramps has been replaced by someone if you've finished the single player campaign.
Mhm.
Do you guys care?
I played it. I just don't remember.
Either way, so if you
I never
finish
did the single.
if you finish single player campaign, Callie is the bad guy.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
If
I
you
know about
finish her off, you bring her back to her senses. In the single player campaign, now when you walk in, it's Callie and Mari next to each other,
Yeah.
and they talk.
Okay, yeah, I
now.
remember that. Yeah.
Gramps though is gone, which
Gramps
is
is
leading
the
up.
villain?
No,
It's leading
Gramps
to-
is leading into the
Octo
Octoling expansion, so he's part of that expansion.
The single player
So
story.
he's
expansion.
the Overlord.
No, he'll be the guy that goes, "You should go and save this person," or he'll meet the Octoling.
He's
and
doing
be
something
like,
else.
You should get to like the city sort of thing.
He's doing something else.
Yeah, so he's doing something else. So they've introduced that piece. They've added 1,000 new items
Yep.
with 3.0. So new clothes.
They're always adding
Ooh.
new clothes.
New,
And
but like
that's
thousands.
why
of
they
new
haven't
items.
made a Splatoon amiibo that allows you to customize it like the magnetic Skylanders will blow my mind.
I don't know. The nice thing about the amiibos is you can save your your outfits to them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have specific outfits for different ranked modes,
Mm-hmm.
you can just and
Or if you have different playstyles, if you
or
want.
if you have different playstyles. So if you want your sniper to be in different clothes, boom. If you
Yeah,
want
it's
this
like
to be
I want.
boom. If you
I want my
this to be
super.
boom.
I want my super to be faster with the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Done.
So either way, so 3.0 came out. There's a bunch of new stuff in the game. Along with that, though, there's a new Splatfest coming up. And the Splatfest started, and I looked it up. Like, I started the game up yesterday because I just need to play something. And they're like, new Splatfest! And I'm like, what is it? So remember that horrible Ninja Turtles cartoon I was telling you about?
Oh, is that the tie into that?
That's the tie-in. So either way, right now you can pick between Raphael or Leonardo.
Yep.
The next Splatfest, the next weekend, is Donatello or Michelangelo, and the third Splatfest
Is
in
the
a
winner
row
of each.
is the winner of each, as
Leonardo.
they duke it out.
Now,
Leonardo
Michelangelo.
Leonardo will make you.
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo's not till next week, so currently I am wearing a blue T-shirt
Leo.
with
Okay,
Leonardo
yeah,
on
Leo.
it. So the T-shirt has Leo on the front,
Leo then
and it has a shell on the back.
Mm.
And
Then,
I'm like,
then
I
Mikey.
really wish they could
I wish you
make
could
us
keep
keep
those
those
T-shirts.
things. Well, they can. We never keep.
or at
them.
least like have somewhere
or something else you unlock.
something you unlock, or at least put them up somewhere for you.
Yeah.
Like, these are the Splatfests you've picked. Like, let me have that somewhere.
only done one.
Even badges. Like, if you think Pokemon, how cool is it to have badges in Splatoon? Give me something that goes like, oh, I was Team Leo. Like,
Or-
I got a pin.
Or yeah, because there's some really good close-up shots when you
Yeah.
start the match, right? So you could see badges on people.
Something like that would be really cool. Like, I've chosen this team in the past, and I want
But
to
they
like Team
have so
Ketchup.
many those that you would just that would fill up way too fast.
Well, no, but you only get to pick. Like, you could represent yourself with one thing.
And you have a giant badge case.
Sure, and you just have a big
Well,
badge
the point,
case.
the
that
bat,
people
yeah.
look.
And then I'll actually have some sort of collectible features
Yeah,
to it.
nice collectible something. Either way, so this coming Splatfest, you can pick between Leonardo and Raphael.
So basically, the turtles.
the turtles.
It's a turtle Splatfest.
It is the Turtle Splatfest, but it's 3 weeks long essentially.
What about Splinter versus April?
Nope. You are picking
Or
between
Splinter
the turtles.
versus Casey Jones?
You are picking between the turtles.
Also,
so this is the
if that-
ultimate
if you
who
throw Casey
is
Jones into any of that, I'm picking Casey Jones all the time.
Michelangelo.
I don't know.
Leo.
Casey Jones is pretty cool.
Michelangelo.
Leo.
See,
Casey.
and this is why this is the best Splatfest yet.
No, it's a good idea.
It's a great idea. It's cool that they're getting the tie-in. So even Splatoon was like, we love it when we can get our partners, like new partners to sign up with us to do some stuff. So they did Autobots and Decepticons.
They've done
Splatoon.
Pokemon. They've done Pokemon.
Obviously, Pokemon. Pokemon's an easier one.
Yeah, red or blue.
Well, but Pokemon in
And
general
it's-
is an easier one. They're
They have the license. They have
they're
the
the
license.
same company.
They have the license. They can do that.
Whereas this one is again teaming up with Nickelodeon.
I would
to-
love to see this, and I don't think Activision Blizzard would let this. But leading up to the release of the expansion pack, have a Horde versus Alliance Splatfest.
I'd be down with that. And you know what? Honestly, it's
I
such
feel like
it's such a different game. I feel like Blizzard would be down with that.
That would be an
Activision on the other.
Yeah, that's the Activision is the big question mark.
See, that's the problem with that merger. Is every once in a while, Activision gets tangled up because Blizzard is still Blizzard. If you talk to anybody there, like that guy that made like World of StarCraft or whatever, so he took the map editor for StarCraft 2 and built like an MMO for StarCraft.
Yeah.
And Activision was like, nope, cease and desist, and we're gonna sue you. And Blizzard's like, are you insane? Like, this is amazing.
He's using an in-game.
So Blizzard invites him into their thing, like, we're so sorry for those morons.
Yeah.
Like, have a tour of our studio, come and meet the team.
Do you want a job?
Come and be awesome with us. Like, da-da-da-da-da. You know, like,
We
they were overly impressed with this guy, and they showed it as a video game company should, as opposed to what Activision tried to do. So it's just like that every once in a while it's like, can Blizzard just be Blizzard again?
Bungie is a lot like that too.
Yeah.
Like they ever since they were purchased by Activision. Sure, we got Destiny and not Halo on a PS4.
But yeah, no, it's that's my problem with those bigger companies buying them is. But the Blizzard is still just kind of, it's like Activision. No, it's like, you know, a dog and they're like, you know, no.
Bobby Kotick, go back in the closet.
Get back.
Stop talking the words. We don't want
little smack on
play your Guitar Hero in your closet.
Yeah.
Just go back.
but there's
we released new songs for you. You can play them in your closet, Bobby.
Do you know how many people are going to buy StarCraft 2 if they can play like this weird MMO version of the, you know, like, no.
Well, StarCraft 2 just released their paid maps.
Yes.
They just released ever since they've been talking about that since
9 years. Yeah.
Launch.
9 years. 9 years
Now,
is finally out. That dance studio is this far now, guys.
So as soon as I read that story, I'm like, ooh.
Dance studios.
Sure. Okay.
I'm in the beta.
That doesn't make it any better.
I like how they...
Unless you run around the world going like, where's my dance studio?
I should. That's all my, like, finished quest. It's like this quest would have been better.
With a dance studio. If I got a dance studio after it.
That made me laugh, so I got into the alpha for World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Then I get an email going, you've been invited to the beta! And I'm like, isn't that redundant? Being in, like... Shouldn't I just transition from alpha to beta? Isn't that just the
I think that's the official way of doing it.
But right, but then don't invite me to the beta. Just be like, oh, BT Dubs, your alpha has now been changed to like you're part of the beta now. Be prepared for
better stuff.
A lot more people coming in, and now you get a character boost to level 100, level 120, and soon you can transfer your character into the game. And then proceed through the game with your character. Sure. Which will all be wiped as soon as the actual game comes out.
So don't transfer.
This is still just testing. Well, no, you can transfer.
Oh, so it's a copy.
It's a copy.
Okay, so you're not like, oh, wow, we're permanently lost.
No,
that's cool.
So you transfer your character over and you pretty much play the entire new expansion before anybody else. And
Which
then
some people are super big on that.
Mostly the raiding people because they can get the raids.
Optimize it.
Can optimize their raids so they can be the first one to get it.
Because there's still achievements for that, right? Where it's like first raid.
Yeah.
There's online achievements. There are achievements in the game for.
I thought there was
I'm not sure if there's the legacy actual achievements in the game for being the first people to beat Blackwing Lair, but it is internet notoriety.
Okay.
And guild notoriety. Like people know which guilds do what.
I don't.
And
you don't play.
Well,
so.
but Brian and I are the same. Like we got into Battlegrounds the other day, and they're like, "I miss the days of like this guild where we could just all party up together and go into a battleground and just own."
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, well, those days are gone, man. Like guilds are pretty much non-existent unless they're these giant.
The biggest story I still remember from World of Warcraft was when they led that giant boss into the city.
Giant boss in the city.
I can't remember.
They've done that a couple times. They did that at the end of the original beta.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
They released that plague the one time by accident.
I heard about that one too.
There was also the Naked Gnome protest. All gnome players wanted an actual capital city and more recognition because gnomes kind of just got thrown in at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan was that everybody on one day was going to make a gnome. Everybody was going to run through together through the starting area so that like no one really died. Like if one guy kited everybody through, the rest of the gnomes could just run through with all their starting gear and no spells. Everybody makes it into Ironforge. Everybody takes off their clothes, and Ironforge at that point, for every server, was like the place. You had to bank there. You had to like auction house. Like everything was in Ironforge.
Yeah.
It was the trading capital. Well, 1,000 small naked gnomes really slows down a city server wise, so people would log into Ironforge and be like, why? Because it's loading, and all of a sudden it's like, why is nothing loading? And all of a sudden it loads, and gnomes. So Blizzard started banning gnomes left, right, and center, and you're sitting there going like, well, but they have a point, like,
let them be heard.
And then they unbanned them all. Yeah, well, they have a small piece of Ironforge, and Gnomeregon's they've been fighting back for Gnomeregon. So if that's actually a quest thing now, is you can.
Oh, and the new one.
In part of Cataclysm was they actually gave the gnomes part like an actual newer starting zone, so they don't start with the dwarves anymore. They start with trying to free part of Gnomeregon. That was a bunch of expansions of that.
But I can see that. But yeah, I can see that being the next a good Splatfest.
That would be an awesome Splatfest.
Horde versus Alliance.
And I can see Blizzard totally being down with that, and then Blizzard's one big thing there would be like, we want to put in some game mechanic in World of Warcraft where
painting
a quest where you have to paint something, like paint something in Splatoon and be like, cool.
Yeah, here's an ink tank, and here's a paintbrush, and you.
Well, because honestly, Blizzard does so many homages to everything, and they have forever. It would just be
they've been on forever too, so they can get away with that.
They could, but it would be cool if that was the partnership. It's like, okay, we'll put a quest in that's called like Splatfest.
Yeah,
And they could, like, if that was the deal.
I feel like they would call it something other than Splatfest.
Oh no, they would
something catchier, like Inkfest.
Sure, something like that. Either way, like, call it something, and then that would be the quest. Is you have to like cover so much ground in this like goopy substance.
And then that's their segue into Diablo 3 for the Switch.
Sure.
Did we talk about Deckard Cain being in Heroes of the Storm?
We did
a while back.
Good, I'm just making sure.
But I don't think we saw the video of that.
Oh yeah,
we didn't see it because you guys were saying like he talked to you to sleep or something. And, like,
yeah, it's one of his quests.
What?
Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. I started talking like that the other day while we were playing World of Warcraft.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, that's
the news.
That's it. Let's blow this. Oh, we forgot to pick a number 5.
We're good. So, with that, we will be moving on to the post-credit show in about 5 minutes' time as
we'll reset the switches, we'll refill the jiggers, and that kind of thing. The post-credit show, we'll talk about movies and games we would like to have been playing this week.
Or other things we have been doing that are nerd-related. In that
nerdy stuff.
In other nerdy stuff, so stay tuned to our channel.
That being said, we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks
Goodbye.
for watching. Tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel.
Flavor Town.
Bye.
Bye.